on Doc Reo TV. You know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more Doc Reo TV, and we're back with another episode. This is actually Nasu Chronicles, episode 9, folks. That's right. And I wanted to tell you all a little bit about this beforehand because people have been asking me questions here and there about how the episodes are going to go. And in this episode, I'm going to give you a little bit more of the flow of how the episodes will go, the transitions between the different scenes. But at the same time, these are excerpts from the episode. And I want you all to know that I am taking parts and bits and pieces of what I'm putting into the episode and just presenting them on these videos. I really can't put a whole half-hour episode in 10 to 15 minutes, even 17 minutes. Not verbally saying it and describing words that may need to be defined as well. So, or that you would see defined on a screen through visual context right here. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy this episode. As a matter of fact, the song for this episode, which I've been neglecting to say the songs, which it's kind of been part of the strategy as well, so is Walk Away. And in this episode, we introduce another character by the name of Silvitan Nasu. That is the title of this episode. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Episode 9, Nasu Chronicles, Book of Scrolls. Halal turns to Elijah and says, "Come, my child of conquest. I sense your anger is not quenched." It's Untera Prime, 528 AD. Elijah looks back at his brothers as he starts to follow Halal. Nosfermos, can't even say the names right now. Nosfermos is chanting and drawing shapes into the ground, while Priotis is over at a cheval de frise, breaking it down, and he's standing in the middle of a line of chevaux de frise. Now, cheval de frise, singular, chevaux de frise, plural. Halal and Elijah walk up this trail in the side of one of the nearby mountains, and they continue to walk up this trail as the morning quickly fades into afternoon. When they reach the top of the mountain, Halal walks to the edge of these cliffs that are overlooking the trail that they had just traveled through that morning, and looks all across the land at the valley and the encampment and just the area around, the desert area around that valley. And Halal then points his finger, his decrepit, deformed finger out, and raises his arm and points it across the valley. And he points it in a 180 degree turn until he stops right in front of Elijah's chest. Then he says, "Don't be so foolish to think that you won't have enemies to conquer. I shall fill this entire valley with those who will either be our subjects or be our enemies. Then we will have the power to escape this dimension and return to Terra Prime." Earth 1, Terra Prime. They're on Unterra Prime. Meanwhile, Rico and Pontu are driving on a long road that heads up this mountain. Rico is looking out the window and listening to Pontu talk. And they're kind of quickly driving up this long road that kind of gradually goes up this slope. And as Rico looks out the window, he sees a sign that says Idlewild, and he tries to read the distance, but he can't. But he knows that the arrow to Idlewild is straight ahead. And as they continue to drive, Pontu says, "I was trapped in a cage. My best friend, who was somehow 15 years older, had become some kind of savage warlord." He continues, "Only one person would speak to me. she was Jim Pearson's personal slave. Then she was reborn as the first woman, Nasu. Then she became the Nasu Grand Priestess. You know her as your mother. She is our queen and a mother to us all. The tribes have been lost without her guidance. Rico curls his brow and he goes, so my mother is some kind of queen or something? Yeah, right. You really expect me to believe this junk? Pontu replies, no, I'm telling you to believe your own eyes. I'm telling you to believe that vampires are real. The Nasu created them, and your father created us. First thing you must understand, young man. I said young man. First thing you must understand is that we are Nasu. Now, we switch scenes to, it fades to Elijah and Mara inside the pit. Now, the pit is that nightclub that you saw earlier where the vampires attacked Rico. So inside the pit, they walk past the bar. The bar is empty. The club is empty. And they walk past the bar and they start walking up this long flight of stairs that heads up to an office. And as they walk into the office, you see two vampires. The two vampires are sitting there and they're scantily clad, but they are sucking the life gradually out of a captured person who's pinned to the wall. As you look closer, the vampires both have collars around their neck and they're chained to the same wall. Elijah walks in and he continues the walk. And Mara's following him in his quick pace of footsteps. And as this happened, Mara says, you know he is dangerous. And I'm sure he's up to something. He makes you look weak. And Elijah walks and he sits in his chair and he turns his chair towards his big bay window behind his desk. And he looks out this window into the empty club. Mara exclaims, Elijah, are you listening? You need to destroy Pontu. Elijah yells, don't you think I've tried? He turns his chair around to face her. I have only a few memories of One Fang, he calmly says. Elijah continues, however, I have kept every memory of Pontu. His power is unpredictable. On his rebirth, he was named Protector. Scene cuts to Unterra Prime 536 AD. A little later than before. Wafu and Halal are walking toward a group of people gathering around Skull Mountain. Wafu says, my lord, what happened to Pontu? Halal stops. Halal stops walking. And then he turns towards Wafu and says, he has been reborn and he shall find his way. In time, he will return. Until then, let us greet those who have followed you to this island. As they reach the bottom of the volcanic mountain trail, Nosferamos and Priotas quickly approach Halal. They both kneel and Priotas says, my lord, several refugees have arrived claiming that the one called Jim is leading an army of slavers to Skull Island. Wafu stands up with her fist in the air and says, well, if it's war he wants, then war he shall get. The crowd forming hears the words that she speaks and cheers. Later that evening, Halal catches a thief stealing battle gear. Halal begins to crush his trachea with his bare hands. And a young woman and a little girl run into the room. The woman cries, please spare his life. He is only stealing to protect us. Halal loosens his grip and lets go of the man. The young woman rushes over and attempts to comfort him. Halal says, who are you to this man? Then the woman says, he is our brother. And he wishes to fight Jim Pearson for killing our parents. All of a sudden, the man starts convulsing. and then gagging for air. He's gasping, and the young lady reaches out for her brother. As she reaches out for her brother, she feels this piece of metal under his back, and she hugs him, and she moves the metal. And when she moves the metal, she pulls her hand out, and it's covered in blood. Halal watches, and the woman whimpering over her brother. He tries to look away gradually, but then he looks back. He turns his head back again, and he kind of dips his head slightly. That's when he sighs as the man gasps. Halal says, "I shall save him. However, he will be transformed. He will be in good health, but he will be somewhat different." The older sister exclaims, "Yes, anything. Please, just save Silvitan." And that's the end of episode 9. Nasu Chronicles, Book of Scrolls. Silvitan Nasu. With that being said, folks, like I say every time, I hope you enjoyed these episodes, and I hope you continue to watch as I continue to deliver this idea, reformat this idea as I prepare it, these excerpts from the book, and put them into a script format and prepare to pitch this. You know, even if I gotta just film this myself, you know, I have a whole system that I have planned out to film it if I have to film it myself. But I definitely would like to work with someone who's out there, who knows the ropes, and who's pro, and who might be able to take my idea to the next level. And the other ideas I have added in that I haven't revealed to you all in this episode. With that being said, this is Doc Reo. I hope you enjoyed, and I am stepping out. I want the world to know. Got to let me show. I'll see y'all. Stay tuned for the Doc Reo roll. There it is. If you need to reach us on Facebook, it's at doc.reo, yeah. On Twitter at Doc Reo Rants. On Instagram, the picture way. And every time I come, I'm here to stay. Snapping photos and get it right. It's at Doc Reo tonight. Say, on YouTube, you can't stop by Doc Reo TV. That's where you see me. That's where you see me. Hit us up on ReoBucks.com. Yeah. Back to your regularly scheduled program now. Peace. I'm out. Doc Reo TV.